I do think it's incredible how strong and how you've been able to cope, really. And I put that down to your really early years, childhood experience. But also the relationship that you've got. You're amazingly close.
Yeah.
And yes, you know...
Most of the time.
Most of the time. No, but you know, and some families sadly aren't as lucky as you guys have been, and being able to share things.
But we have been brought closer because of the circumstances as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, you are, uniquely bonded because of what we've been through.
Yeah.
But, even Harry and I, over the years, have not talked enough about, our mother. We've...
Never enough.
Has doing this campaign sort of made you realise that, to a certain extent?
I think so. I always thought to myself, what's the point in bringing up the past? What's the point in bringing up something that's only going to make you sad? It ain't going to change it. It ain't going to bring her back. And when you start thinking like that, it can be really damaging. And you always said to me, you've got to sit down and think about those memories. But for me, it was like, don't want to think about it.
Yeah. But I think what must happen with us and must happen with others as well is that you have to prioritise your mental health.
8 years ago, the world witnessed a rare moment of vulnerability from Prince William, Prince Harry and Kate Middleton. They sat together, their faces etched with profound emotion, opening up about a topic that had, until then, been largely shrouded in silence: mental health. The conversation was raw, heartfelt, and deeply personal. It revolved around their shared trauma, the untimely death of Princess Diana, a loss that had not only left a void in their lives, but had also brought them closer as a family. In their grief, the brothers found solace in each other, their bond strengthening with each passing day. In their candid discussion, the brothers painted a vivid picture of their struggle. Harry, with his heart on his sleeve, confessed to the years of anguish he had endured in silence, trying to come to terms with Diana's death. William, on the other hand, spoke about the profound impact this loss had on their lives and how it had cemented their relationship. They were united in grief, their shared sorrow acting as the glue that held them together. It was a poignant sight, the two princes standing shoulder to shoulder, their resolve unwavering in the face of adversity. They were not just brothers, they were comrades, their bond forged in the crucible of shared pain. But this united front, this unbreakable bond, as it seemed back then, was not to last. The brothers, once inseparable, now stand divided, their paths diverging in ways no one could have imagined. What led to this dramatic shift? How did two brothers, who once leaned on each other for support, end up on opposite sides of a seemingly insurmountable divide? Was it the weight of the crown that drove them apart? Or was it something deeper, something more personal? As we delve deeper into the tale of these royal brothers, we are left with more questions than answers. But one thing is clear: the story of Prince William and Prince Harry is a tale of brotherhood, of loss, and of the unyielding pressures of royal life. And it's a tale that continues to unfold before our very eyes. Today, the once inseparable brothers are barely recognisable in their brotherhood. Prince William, now the Prince of Wales, has stepped into his role as the heir, upholding the weight of the monarchy and embodying the royal lineage. His life is marked by duty and tradition, a path that has been laid out for him since birth. On the other hand, Prince Harry, often referred to as the Spare, chose a different path. He stepped away from the royal duties, a decision that sent shockwaves through the world. He chose love, freedom, and the chance to build his own family over the rigid protocols and expectations that come with royal life. However, this divergence in paths was not met with understanding or compassion. Instead, the media responded with a storm of criticism and vilification. Harry was painted as the rebellious prince, and Meghan, his wife, was scapegoated as the villain who stole him away from his royal duties. And what of Prince William, the other half of this brotherly bond? Instead of standing up for his brother in the face of the media onslaught, he fell into a deafening silence. The same man who once spoke about the strengthening of their bond through shared grief now seemed to have turned his back on his brother. But let's be clear, this division didn't just appear overnight. It was not the result of a single decision or event. Rather, it was a slow and steady drift, fueled by years of unspoken resentment, the weight of royal expectations, and a system that always protected the heir, often at the expense of the spare. This is not merely a story of two brothers drifting apart. It is a tale of a deep bond, formed in the crucible of shared grief, fractured by the rigidity of an ancient institution. It is a tale of the human cost of royal duty and tradition. This division, however, didn't appear overnight. It was a gradual process, a slow erosion of a once strong bond, a testament to the heavy toll of royal life. This rift didn't just materialize. It was a result of years of unspoken resentment and rigid royal expectations. Beneath the glossy public facade of royal life, a palace system that incessantly favoured the heir over the spare was in full operation. It was a system that overlooked the needs of the individual in favour of upholding the institution. Prince Harry, the so-called spare, was always second. He was second in line to the throne, second in the media's eye, and most damagingly, second in the palace's priorities. The system was designed to protect the crown, and in this case the crown meant William. But Harry, following in his mother's footsteps, chose to challenge this system. He chose not just to exist, but to live. He chose vulnerability over silence, freedom over protocol. He chose to tell his truth. In the Oprah interview and later in his book, Spare, Harry spoke up about his pain, his struggles, and his decision to step back from royal duties. He wasn't launching an attack on his family. Rather, he was breaking a generational silence, a silence that had been enforced by the very institution that was supposed to protect him. And what was the response? Not understanding, not empathy, but distance, disdain and denial. The brother who once stood by his side fell silent, choosing the institution over the individual, the crown over connection. This isn't just a royal feud, it's a tragedy, a story of two brothers, once united in grief, now divided by the very institution that was supposed to keep them together. It's a stark reminder that behind the grandeur and the glamour, there are real people with real emotions trying to navigate a system that is often more about duty than humanity. This isn't just a royal feud, it's a tragedy. We've witnessed the heartbreaking transformation of two brothers, once united in grief, now divided by an institution that prides itself on duty and family. But what does this division signal? What does it say about the family at the core of it all? The royal family, an institution steeped in centuries of tradition and protocol, has always portrayed an image of unity and strength. Yet, beneath the polished exterior, the fractures are all too evident. The tale of Harry and William isn't just about two brothers at odds. It's a stark reflection of the institution's inherent contradictions. It raises questions, uncomfortable ones. How can an institution that claims to uphold family values allow such a rift within its own ranks? When duty and family collide, which takes precedence? The tragic tale of Harry and William is not just about them. It's about an institution that's been forced to confront its own limitations, its inability to adapt, and its struggle to reconcile duty with humanity. The monarchy, with its emphasis on duty and tradition, has always had an uneasy relationship with individuality and personal freedom. Harry's departure and the subsequent fallout is a glaring manifestation of this tension. It's a reminder that the crown's weight is heavy, and not everyone is willing to bear it at the cost of personal happiness and freedom. The implications of this division go beyond the personal. It has shaken the monarchy to its core, challenging its relevance in a world that increasingly values authenticity and personal freedom over tradition and protocol. So, as we reflect on this tragic tale, we're left with a critical question. Was the bond between Harry and William ever genuine? Or was it always overshadowed by the demands of the crown? The painful reality is that we may never know. But one thing is clear, the crown has come with a heavy price. It has cost a family their unity, and two brothers their bond. So was their bond ever authentic? Or has the crown always come before connection? So, where does this leave the future of Prince William and Prince Harry's relationship? It's a question that's been on everyone's mind, a question that has caused a global stir. From the outside, it seems like a daunting task. The chasm between the brothers appears too wide, their differences too stark. But the beauty of relationships, especially familial ones, is their inherent potential for change. Relationships, like people, evolve. They grow, they falter, they heal. William and Harry's relationship isn't just a story of two brothers at odds. It's a narrative of shared pain, common struggles, and the desperate pursuit of individuality in the face of overwhelming expectations. Their bond, once unbreakable, now seems fractured, but that doesn't mean it's irreparable. We've seen them stand together in times of immense grief, seen them laugh together in moments of joy. We've seen them navigate the tumultuous waters of royal life, each in their own way. They've been united, they've been divided, but they've never been strangers. Will the monarchy's rigid protocols and traditions allow for such a reconciliation? That's a question only time can answer. The royal institution, with its centuries-old customs, has often seemed resistant to change. But change, as they say, is the only constant. Perhaps what's needed is a shift in perspective, a willingness to embrace vulnerability, as Harry has done, and to prioritise familial bonds over royal duties. Perhaps what's needed is a recognition that the crown doesn't define them, but their actions do. Will William take that step towards reconciliation, towards mending wounds and rebuilding bridges? It's a question that only he can answer. But what do you think? Can the brothers mend their relationship? Or has the monarchy lost something far greater than tradition, its humanity? This is Celebrity Scoop, and we'll be back with more stories the palace hopes you won't hear.